Hi everybody, Stephanie Koo here. You've seen me on the Instagram, just being your guide for this week, doing the social media for Hub Culture during Davos 2024. We've had some amazing interviews throughout the week, and before we left, I wanted a chance to chat with Stan. Really curious as to what your takeaways are from Davos 2024 this year.
Well, I'm really interested in what your takeaways are too. For us, it's been a really amazing year, and there's so many things to unpack. So I think one thing is to talk about the campus and the changes that we made, and what our theory and theme was. And then the second is just really what I learned from all the various conversations here in Davos. People always say that Davos sets the agenda for the world for the year, and I really believe after so many years here that that's true. So I find that it's where I get my to-do list in a way.
It's funny that you said that, because those are my thoughts exactly. From all the times that I've been to Davos, this year is when I felt it the most, that there's this real collective vibe happening amongst everyone who was here this year.
Yeah.
And it was all about more giving love and peace and how we bring peace to the world.
Well, you just nailed one of my one of my talking points was early on there was a conversation at the Ice House, and people were talking about how to drive collaboration for NGOs, and I'll get into that more in a minute, but this idea of compassionate Davos was something that came up, and then I just kept seeing it in different words and different forms throughout the week, this idea that we really have to be compassionate because there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, and if we're not compassionate in our approach, there is really very little hope of us solving the problems that we face.
I would agree that I saw the words a lot and I heard the conversations a lot, but I actually felt the vibe a lot. I felt it from the rooms that I was in, and I felt it from meeting new people or running into people that are familiar faces, but I just felt the collective vibe that everybody is feeling like we need to change the world. We need to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that very much with the work we're doing with Hub. I guess, I'd love to take a minute to kind of share. You were here with us last year, and at the Hub, we've often had themes, and I always kind of set this theme out, and I honestly think about it for months beforehand, because it starts with how we name our WhatsApp group for all the team, and that's the core of Hub is always the team, and the energy of who we are is emanated by the team. And so naming the group chat is one of the biggest stress points I have of the year. I'm like, what are we going to call it? One year we were the Snow Panthers, and another year we were the I don't know, different things. But last year it was Quantum Leap.
So I was here last year, and we talked a lot about the Quantum Leap, and it's interesting how throughout the year things unfolded, because Hub was in the same structure for 14 years.
Yeah.
And when you decided on Quantum Leap, you had no idea that the campus would change.
Well, we knew that we were going to be leaving that location last year.
Oh, okay, got it.
And that's why it was quantum, because we didn't know what that meant, where we were going. We were still doing the Ice House, we were still doing the Tech Lodge. What are we leaping to? And we didn't even know if it applied to Davos or other things, but it just felt like we're going to take this quantum leap into the unknown, and let's take that quantum leap. And then right about that time, I started working on this idea in my mind of Andromeda. And Andromeda is something that was top secret for a while, but also really amorphous. And then it gelled a little bit, and then it's also many different things. And this year, the theme was Andromeda, Hub Culture Andromeda. And
thanks for picking such an easy word to say and spell, by the way.
And then we made it all of our social passwords.
Making it your Wi-Fi password and your social passwords.
The best is, did you see Brian's Andromeda eggs? He made these eggs that were purple. And then I'm like, oh, those Andromeda eggs are amazing. And he was like, what are you talking about? And it turned out that he just made them. But he clearly got, at the quantum level, this Andromeda idea, because they were exactly the same color as the new chalet was lit up in this kind of purple lavender Andromeda anyway. But I guess the point of Andromeda is that it is a technological project that we're building, and it's really wild and it's amazing, and I feel like we kind of come out of the closet with Andromeda this week, talking about what it is going to be. We sort of structured it as imagination. So I'm excited to tell you about what Andromeda, my vision for Andromeda. It's going to be a while before it's fully complete, but the first pillars of Andromeda went into the ground this week here in Davos. So one pillar is that we moved from that side of the town to this side of the town, but we're still, anchored and revolving around the great sun of the World Economic Forum, right? And this side of town, it just has a different vibe and it's fun. And I feel like we got to be our authentic self in the new chalet. This beautiful space is 10 times bigger than the old hub, and it's given us space to do incredible things this week. We're launching an ocean climate fund, which came together yesterday in a bunch of discussions. We've been able to host amazing people and moments. We did a cacao ceremony to open it. We did a consciousness conversation to close it.
There was a Burning Man party.
It was so fun.
Had a great turnout.
Yeah, we did podcast episodes with Monocle every day from the roof. We did the studio like we always do with, the work that you did with Manveen. So it was awesome. And then in between were like so many different conversations and space to kind of do fun things. And then, I think on the Andromeda front, there's this side of town, which is Andromeda. We have also the boardroom. You and I got to spend time there. Yep. It was so fun.
That was actually, it's hard to pick your favorite on the campus because the Tech Lodge is super cool. The Ice House is such a vibe. The Leadership Lounge was amazing as well. The chalet was, pretty epic. But the boardroom was my favorite.
Really?
Because
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, because I really believe I got to see what happens in a small room with a small group of people and the magic that happens in a small room versus a big room. There's big room magic, but there's small room magic.
Absolutely.
And I spent a lot of time in the boardroom, and each session there was it was amazing what came out of it.
I actually got all my work done in the boardroom this year. We had, I think, 7 conversations there, and every one of them was incredible, and I got so much work done in those sessions. Also, I have to say that the Ice House never fails to deliver. We did the most amazing thing with BBC Earth and Exeter House. Just the most strong, Exeter, I never knew, has 5 of the top climate scientists in the world.
It was so compelling.
Yeah.
And we were at Climate Week in New York, and it was all about climate, but that room moved me more than
It was something. And their work is very important. And then Imperial College did this thing on the future of humanity and AI, and they had like Stanford and Harvard and all these top university people and the top thinkers around AI. And we did this whole exercise around the Sustainable Development Goals and trying to figure out what is the most important thing that AI could be doing. And it really, for us, landed around education and around governance. And, that was pretty wild because you could see the future taking shape in the room around you in this conversation and the way that people are thinking about how AI is going to be built for the rest of us. So I feel like that was super important. My favorite thing at the Ice House though this year is we worked with APCO to do this NGO gathering, and we brought in W20, which is like the women's side of G20 in Brazil, for like live over the live stream link. And they together, like all these NGOs worked out like through the lens of women, because our Ordinary Club of Extraordinary Women hosted it, through the lens of women, like what are the top priorities that all these NGOs should be talking about for the year. So if you're in an NGO anywhere in the world and you have women-led initiatives or focus, we've decided that care, like the care that women provide that's often unpaid, entrepreneurship, and violence against women are like the 3 things, the 3 topical areas that we're going to theme around. And so for the Ordinary Club, we suddenly have like a theme for the year and like a shared agenda item. And all these other NGOs are kind of coming on board with it too. And so it gives us like this opportunity to hopefully synchronize and move faster and at higher speed.
Okay, thank you. So I do want to just mention, because you and I can just go on forever.
Yeah, we will.
We did several interviews out of our studio this week, which are all posted on our platforms, as well as because we had the Monocle pop-up radio in Davos this year, Stan was able to record 4 chronicles that I'm really excited to listen to because the guests that you had and the topics. So I'm going to ask you to leave us with some last thoughts and last notes that you have on your takeaways from Davos 2024. And
so one is surf. So Web 1, we did this at the Global Blockchain Business Council, but I came up with it with Manveen. So Web 1 was read, and we were surfing, SURF. And then Web 2 was right, like posting to social media and everything. But we've been surfing, SERF, because all the gains go to the four oligarchs. And the technogarchs is another one of my new words. Somebody said we need new words, so I've been making up new words all week. So Web 2 is surf, SERF, and then Web 3 is surf, SIRF, sovereign, independent, responsible, friendly. And I think that's like the way that we should be thinking about building the new web. The I should own it. I should be sovereign. I should be independent. But that also comes with responsibilities about how I act. And let's just make it friendly. Like we all need to build each other up and not tear each other down. It's gotten so toxic, the whole environment online.
Could it be surf, SIRFF?
Oh,
for friendly and fun, because
I like it.
You're also talking about the game. It doesn't change the sound of it, right?
Yeah,
so it could be what is it?
Because somebody else suggested fun,
exactly,
and, like friendly and fun.
And then you talked so much about gaming, so it could be SIRFF for friendly and fun.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
The great thing about surf is that like everybody's been adding to it, and it took me about 7 people to get to where we're at. And Davos is over, so it's officially surf.
Okay, it's officially surf. All right. Well.
I guess, can I say one last thing about Andromeda? So, we had a big upgrade to Zeke.ai this week, and we developed something that we call mnemonic archaeology that allows the AI to build a personal relationship with you when you're logged into the community. So I encourage people to go and talk to our AI. It's getting more intelligent by the day, and it's really a big change for its personality, their personality. But Andromeda is really designed to create a vision for user-generated metaverses. And that's my ultimate plan with Andromeda. The first step of that went live this week with this pillar where it will begin to scan your Hub ID and your identity and then know you personally. That's a big deal. So everybody will have a personal fractal relationship with the AI. And then with that, we're developing a thing called Dreamscape, which allows the AI to generate dreams based off of content that you give it. And so that will become the base of these user-generated metaverses in the future. And so it's still mostly imaginary. The next step is to have the image creation and the dream creation tool come to life, which will happen, this spring. But it's really exciting. And the idea is that we could create an echo right here. And I think what we should do is maybe create our first echo. If I had my phone. I always lose my phone. Anyway.
I have it plugged in for you.
Click.
Okay.
We can click this memory, and then we can geolocate it to this point, and then the AI will know this place and this location, and if somebody else came here in the future, they could actually access this memory if we had given them access to it.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's the vision of Andromeda, a galaxy of star points.
I love it.
That's why it's called Andromeda.
Great. Well, thank you so much for making time to chat.
Thank you for hanging out and being so amazing. And I guess find us more online.